Good afternoon and welcome to the Media News and Voice of the People Television. I am Fina Chuku. The headlines. Lagos government issues flood alert to Lekki Ikorodu residents. LP faction distances itself from planned INEC protest. Kano commissioner resigns as probe and panel indicts him over bail of drug baron. Church of Nigeria court stars with Wales over gay archbishop. Peter Obi reaffirms one-term promise. Zamfara lawmaker renovates 80 cemeteries as constituency safety protocols. In sports, Uday's Islam Super Eagles for selfish play. And in the world of entertainment, Burna Boy, Asake bagged multiple nominations as Lady Gaga leads. Now the news and details. The Lagos state government has warned residents in low-lying areas of Lekki, Ikorodu and Ajegule to relocate to higher ground due to the risks of severe flooding. The Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, issued the warning during a television interview. He specifically advised residents to move to safer locations. Wahab noted that other areas such as Ebe, Mushin and Ikeja are expected to remain safe. Residents in Ishari within the OPIC axis were also urged to stay alert. The warning follows heavy rainfall from Sunday night through Monday evening, which left parts of the state submerged. Viral videos showed flooded homes, stranded vehicles and impassable roads, disrupting both commercial and social activities across several communities. Away from that report, the Ninadi Usman-led faction of the Labour Party has distanced itself from a planned protest today at the headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. In a statement, Ken Asogwa, Senior Special Advisor on Media to the Interim National Chairman, Senator Ninadi Usman, said the party has no connection to the proposed protest. Asogwa added that the organizers are unknown to the party's leadership and the action lacked the approval and backing of the party. The faction also called on security agencies to note that those planning the protest are not official representatives of the Labour Party, but political impersonators and mischief makers. Moving on, a presidential spokesman Bayo Onanuga has announced that President Bola Tinubu has signed the Nigerian Insurance Industry Reform Bill 2025 into law. In a statement, Onanuga said the new legislation will strengthen Nigeria's financial sector and support the country's push towards a 1 trillion naira economy. The act repeals and consolidates several outdated insurance laws into a single, modern legal framework. It also provides for comprehensive regulation and supervision of all insurance and reinsurance businesses operating within Nigeria. This report says that the Commissioner for Transportation in Kano State, Ibrahim Namadi, has resigned from his position. Namadi stepped down just hours after a probe panel indicted him for standing surety for an alleged drug baron, Suleiman Danwawu, without conducting due diligence. Governor Abba Yusuf had earlier set up the panel to investigate Namadi's involvement in the controversial bail of the suspected drug kingpin. In a statement, the governor's spokesperson, Sunusi Dawakin, outlined the panel's finding, revealing that Namadi appealed to serve as surety for the suspect on July 18. The panel noted that Namadi swore an affidavit affirming his status as a serving commissioner and pledged to comply with all bail conditions until the suspect's trial is concluded. Moving on in the news, the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion has officially cut ties with the church in Wales following the appointment of Bishop Sherry Van, an openly lesbian cleric, as the 15th Archbishop of Wales. The decision was announced by the primate of the Church of Nigeria, Most Reverend Henry Ndukuba, who described the development as an abomination and serious departure from biblical teaching. Archbishop Ndukuba linked the situation to the 2003 consecration of Gina Robinson in the Episcopal Church, USA, another openly gay bishop, which also led Nigeria to sever ties with that province. The announcement was made during the opening session of the 14th Church of Nigeria Conference of Chancellors, Registrars, and Legal Officers held at the Church's National Secretariat in Abuja. With a theme called As a Watchman, the event brought together legal minds from across the church to discuss issues of doctrinary integrity, justice, and governance. Still on the news, former Anambra State Governor and Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi has reaffirmed his commitment to serving only one term if elected president in 2027. He insists that 4 years is enough to deliver results when leadership is focused on service. Obi made the statement in a post on his X-verified handle, addressing concerns about reactions to his earlier pledge. He stressed that his one-term promise is not a campaign gimmick or a sign of desperation, but a true reflection of his leadership philosophy. Obi also rejected claims that his stance signals political desperation. In the southeastern part of the country, partial and party campaigns ahead of the Anambra State governorship election are already heating up as the November 8 poll draws closer. APGA flag bearer and incumbent Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo took aim at his opponents over the weekend during a campaign rally in Ekulobia, headquarters of Agwata local government area. The governor's administration has come under criticism over his revenue generation strategies and other key policies. Correspondent Ndu Obaleze has more on this report. In the Northwest, House of Representatives member Kabiru Maipalashe has sponsored the renovation of 80 cemeteries across Gusau and Safi local government areas in Zamfara. At the inauguration of the project in Safi town, Maipalashe said the initiative is part of his constituency projects. He explained that the decision followed reports from constituents about poor conditions of local cemeteries. Maipalashe also promised monthly allowances for cemetery guards and workers, along with providing them with working tools. You're watching the Media News and Voice of the People television, and joining us this afternoon to help analyze the stories you've listened to thus far is Ayoyinka Oni, a political activist, a former Take It Back Movement Lagos coordinator. And with us in the studio, we have Barrister Darlington Agomo, VOP TV in-house political analyst. Good afternoon, Barrister Darlington.
Good afternoon, Finan. How are you?
Good to have you join today's Media News. I don't know if you can hear me. Ayoyinka Oni, good afternoon.
Yes.
All right, good to have you join today's Media News.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Now, let me start off with you, Ayoyinka. Looking at the constituency projects, especially the one that happened in the northwestern part of Zamfara State, where a particular man who actually represent that constituency, Kabiru Maipalashe, have decided to renovate 80 cemeteries across Gusau and Safi local government areas. And he also did other things, like he empowered the people of the constituency with tricycle and motorbikes. Now, I want to get your opinion, general view first on the constituency project first, before we start dissecting the things that this particular man did. What was your take on constituency project by the House of Representative members and also the National Assembly in general?
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me once again. I want to start off by saying we are in an unserious country. And why do I say that? It is at all not the job of lawmakers, either at the state level or at the federal level, to execute projects. It is against the constitution, it's against the law, and it's not done in any sane climate. The reason why the government have been allocating project execution to them is just as a form of bribery and compensation. And that's why, they say, the local legislators, get few projects, the state get this project. It's just bribery and compensation. And we all know that there will be a lot of kickbacks from those projects. So it's sad, and we need the serious government to put a stop to it. That is the fact of the matter.
Are you saying that it's unconstitutional for?
Of course it is. They are lawmakers.
Why then is it that Why then is it that prior to this time we learned that this constituency projecting began when we had the Obasanjo becoming or being the president of Nigeria of 1999? Why is it that it still lingered up until this time with it being unconstitutional?
Because they all enjoy unconstitutional acts. They all enjoy the corruption. It's money sharing scheme. That is what it is. It's nothing serious. A cemetery should be managed by the local government. It's a cemetery. We are not against making sure that your cemetery are okay and their bush are not there and all that. But it should be managed by the local government. I'll be very interested in how much was used to do it, But it is unconstitutional and it's illegal. And it shows that we are not serious. There are so many problems with our law. There are so many laws that should be amended and updated. Their implementation, one of the biggest problems in this country is implementation is lacking. That is the job of these lawmakers, and they are not doing it. They are basically executing projects and distributing tricycles. It's a shame.
All right, thank you so much. Barrister Darlington, let's get your opinion actually on this particular one. Apart from the fact that, Yinka made a statement saying that it's unconstitutional for constituency project actually to be given to lawmakers, but still, we are yet to know how much these people do go home with, starting with first as a salary, before we talk about the monies that they take as a constituency project. And yet, RAFAC actually is here to tell Nigerians where our money is going. I'm talking about taxpayers' money for them to be paid and every other thing happening within the National Assembly. Let's get your opinion on that. How constitutional is constituency projects?
It is unconstitutional.
So it's illegal?
Purely illegal. In fact, extra illegal. It was Obasanjo that started it when he was thinking of third term and he needed something to placate the lawmakers. That was how he came with this strange idea of a constituency project. It's like an overkill, because you have ministers who are supposed to take care of projects. Then in the states you have a governor and commissioners. Then at the local government you have a local government chairman and the councillors. So what is the National Assembly doing with all this constituency whatever? These three layers of government are supposed to take care of any project or anything that the people needed in their constituency. They are well qualified enough, even more at home with it, because the lawmakers are in Abuja. How would they be supervising a project that is going on in their constituency? Is it not when they get time to come home they will know what is going on? But if the local government or state are managing this thing, the issue of supervision and a quality job will be guaranteed. So that constituency project, in fact, if I have my way, I said they should scrap it because it is not in the constitution. You can see, that's why it is said that whenever you allow evil to fester for too long, before you know it, it becomes a tradition and culture. Now that thing has become part of our laws now. Though it is not written, but it becomes part of our laws. It's like this north and south whatever. These are things that are very, very an aberration in our political journey. We create problem for ourselves. And when the thing boomerang, we start looking for whom to blame.
So, Barrister, when you say that this is, illegal, we've seen, lawmakers come up with different constituency projects. Today, we're getting that Mr. Kabiru, decided to renovate 80 cemeteries. We've seen lawmakers giving out tires, some spoons, some pots, some, so many things are being shared to the people. Why is it that, at this point in time, nobody is thinking of calling them to order? I'm talking about the executive arm of government now, the presidency, trying to look into the affairs or activities of the lawmakers and calling them to order.
What they are doing it to their people. It's like a philanthropy. But making it a law is what I'm against, or making it look like it is mandatory. These are issues that I kick against. Anybody can do whatever they are doing. If Dangote has a foundation that take care of people and their need and all that. There are so many foundations, so many NGOs that can help people in different ways. But when a lawmaker who's supposed to be making law now make it part of his responsibility to provide a borehole, toilet facility, coffin to bury the dead, and it's very ridiculous. Seriously, very, very ridiculous. So this is what I'm kicking against. Because some of it has even reduced the worth of the lawmaker. In the places where we copy this democracy, you don't see a lawmaker getting involved in this type of whatever.
But Kabiru said his people called him in to say, come and help us. They invited him to do what he did for them, according to what he's saying now. So don't you think that the people actually have so many things that they desire? For example, there was a time there was a mass wedding in Kano State. The people also asked for that, and it was given to them. So are we going to blame the lawmaker for doing the bidding of the people now?
Because they know that the lawmaker have the money to do it. If they doesn't, will they call him? They know that there is money in his pocket for as the lawmaker. Everybody know that they have money for constituency projects. So they will cajole them to bring the money out and do one thing or the other. Interesting point.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, because in Zamfara State, we know that insecurity is bedeviling the area to start with. We have Rero also, talking so tough in that state, though he had decided to broker peace with them. Why wouldn't the people desire or ask for something better? Why go for, cemetery renovation? Why not ask for security, at this point in time? That shows... at what point will Nigerians learn how to place their priorities, right? Come to use that word.
No, you see, the lawmaker that went to renovate a cemetery, I will blame him because he should know better. He should know better. I don't even think anybody will make such a demand. But he's now blaming the people for his own foolishness. Because if you are truly a lawmaker and you want good things for your people, is that what you're supposed to be doing? Now he's saying the people called him, they begged him to come and renovate a cemetery. Are you serious? So cemetery and the food and the security, which one is more important? The lawmaker is not, he can't convince me that the people are demanding for such a thing. It is himself who wanted to do it for whatever reason. Maybe the ghosts that voted for him, he has gone to placate them for bad leadership. Yes, it must be ghosts that voted for him. That's the people he went to please. It cannot be human beings who are hungry.
All right.
Hungry, and you left it and you are looking for cemetery. By the way, why should you go and disturb the dead? What you did to them is not enough. You wouldn't allow them to rest. This is how spirits get angry. This is how they get angry. And you start asking what happened. They are angry over there that they died prematurely. And instead of you to allow them to rest in peace, you are now going to disturb them again.
All right, Barrister Darlington, thank you so much. Now let's bring it back to you now. Mr. Ayoyinka, talking about people and their demands. The Labour Party presidential candidate, Peter Obi, reaffirmed his commitment to serving only one term if being elected president in 2027. First, what do you have to say about this, particular statement on the lips of most politicians? Let me do the first bid, let me go for second term. Let me get your opinion, a general view on the terms being spent. What actually does the Constitution of Nigeria state? Is it a double term? Is it a by force double term? Or are you looking at one term mandatory and maybe out of the people's benevolence or the good work you do, another term being extended?
Well, personally, if you ask me, I will say the 2 term that is offered to any executive is too much, you know. And why am I saying that? There are 200 million Nigerians with ideas and experience and education that can get this country working. We cannot continue to reuse old guards who have run out of ideas. And, you know, apart from even the first and second term, Nigeria should get used to demanding the resignation of even president and governors that after 6 months they are failing. You know, so for me personally, I would say the 2 term is too much. And that's why restructuring is important. When we restructure this country and do a better constitution, all these things will be placed in the constitution. Probably after our restructuring and a referendum, we decide, okay, 3 terms, 3 years for 1 term, 4 years for 1 term, and that's it. You know, but for now, there's an open space for 2 term, you know, and they're all cashing out on it.
Now, talking about restructuring, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so concerning the statement of Mr. Peter Obi, of course, Nigerians will not take that statement serious. The reason is because many have said it in the past. You know, Buhari said it, and many of them said it, and they definitely don't live by it. And apart from that statement, politicians are used to saying all these veiled statements because of the need power, and they never stand by it. Peter Obi once said he will never leave APGA. He left, you know, and PDP, the same thing, he left. And Labour Party also, they are already giving him a green light. So these are the regular statements of position. I don't think that should be the issue now. The issue should be what is their plan for the country? What do they want to do? How can they get the country better? Not affirming of 1 term and all that. It's not enough.
You made mention of restructuring also. What does a nation need? Now, people are projecting a single term 6 years for all the executive when they're being elected. Some were saying that let us reduce this to just a single term. Once you've done this 6 years, you forget about coming back again. What's your take on that, please?
For me, it's even too much. 6 years. Why? Is it your family birthright? You know, are you the king of the country? What are you doing there for 6 years? Who are you? What brain do you have? You know, people that are even very sound and exceptional leaders in good climes, they will allow them to stay for that long. The vice chancellor of Germany just spent 13 years and she's out, you know, even though they are not practicing the kind of system that we are practicing. So for a country like Nigeria, where leaders have failed us regularly, year in, year out, for over 60 years, for me, 3 years. If you cannot change society and perform your policy exceptionally for 3 years, then you are a joke. You are a joke. Many of us are leaders and managers in companies. Do your company allow you to be a director or a managing director for 1 year and you have not performed? They're already showing you the way out, you know. But we have people that are president and governors of a state and of a nation with all the resources of the country with them, all the executive power and everything, and they cannot perform for 6 months, for a year. I want to keep them for 6 years. It's too much. And 3 years, you know, and if you cannot perform even before that 3 years, they should be shown the way out to resign, you know, to be impeached. You know, that's what we should be talking about.
Okay, thank you so much for your submission. Now, Barrister Darlington,
yes.
Do you also share that line of thought? With the way Nigeria as a nation is now, do you think 4 years, if Peter B got an opportunity to be there, do you think 4 years he will be able to turn the situation of the nation around, both economically, you know, security-wise, and, you know, just general overhaul? Do you think he'll be able to do it in 4 years?
Nobody can finish the work of governance of a state like Nigeria in 4 years. But I have a clue of what P2B meant. P2B want to stop this mad rush for 8 years when you have not even started your first term. That is what he meant. So he want to do 4 years because he believes he can do something in 4 years. something that will change the face of Nigeria. Not that he can finish all the work. It's not possible for him to do it, but he wants to lay a foundation that when you are coming, prepare your mind for 4-year job, and you work within that instead of planning for 8 years, because 8 years is not guaranteed. That's what Peter B meant. He wants the people, the people that are, that are gunning for top office, not to begin to think of 8 years when you have not started your first term, because of the problem it has created in Nigeria. And that is what I think he meant. In fact, that's what he meant. If you look at the context under which he spoke, people should stop this mad rush for 8 years when the constitution says 4 years. So B2B is right. He wants to kill this idea of 8 years, that it is guaranteed, is your right, you must stay there for 8 years whether you are performing or not. That is the problem of Nigeria. Somebody had to stop it, and B2B want to stop it. That is it.
Right, now, I asked this question first to Yinka, when I was asking about the permutation that there might be, a 6-year term now in Nigeria, no longer the 4 years, maybe 6 years for all executive elected officials, and when the 6 years elapse, you're no longer going to come back there. Now, let me get your opinion on that also. And why is it that the members of the National Assembly are not being, seen to also face such maybe 4 years or 6 years? Or why is it that they don't have a term when their own time will expire? Because it's more like we're seeing some of the executives, after spending maybe 8 years in office, they will take the National Assembly more like as a resting home.
You see, whenever you are trying to say something about good governance or good executive as national legislature relationship, don't make reference to this National Assembly, please. They are bad news as far as Nigerians are concerned. When you are talking of good governance, don't mention their name. They are the ones that are aiding and abetting what is going on today. And they know. They know. Because they just sit down there, and whatever the executive bring, they will stamp it without even going through. So if you want Nigeria to move forward, it is not under the watch of Akpabio and this other one at the House of Rep. They are just there to collect money. Because whatever the executive want to do now, they will first of all be induced. Whenever they collect their own take, they will now pocket it and say, yes, Mr. President, you say you want what? Okay, don't worry, we know what you want, or your take. That's what they are doing there. No scrutiny, no debate. No scrutiny, no debate. So this National Assembly, please, anybody that want Nigeria to move forward, don't bring them into the equation, because they are just there. They are just there to warm their bench. They are not contributing to this administration or to this democracy. They are not. They won't help matters. We are looking forward to when somebody like a P2B come there, and then people will now, and you come in with people who will follow his idea, because he was in Anambra and the State Assembly concocted themselves. Is it not because the executive is corrupt? That's why the National Assembly is more corrupt. If not, they would have been checking what the president and the executives are doing now. So a P2B will make them behave themselves, because he will come with his own team. These people, forget them, please.
All right, Barrister Darlington. Now, let's move away from that and get into, political parties and its internal wrangling. And that will be about the Labour Party. Some faction of it actually staging a protest today at INEC headquarters. But we're getting that the Naledi Usman faction have come up to distance itself from that protest. What do you have to say about this? The fact that the court, in its ruling, made it so open and saying that a particular man is no longer the one in charge of the party. Why is it so difficult for this man to...
My dear, I have told you here that evil does not last forever. It's a matter of time. I told you here that as long as the Supreme Court has spoken, Abure is wasting his time. Anybody that does anything with Abure, look, the person have just made a poor investment, a wasted investment, because somebody will simply go to court and shut it down. Even if you have been elected under Abure, as the chairman of Labour Party, you have wasted your time. It is just for a member of Labour Party to go to court and present the court judgment, and that's all. That is all. Nothing you can do. So it is even good this thing happened before all of them started buying firm and all that. I'm telling you, it's good now. Yes, if not, you would have discovered. In fact, it will be more suicidal for you to have been elected under Abure chairmanship, only for somebody to go to court and say, "My lord." So by that time, you now know that you are acting on illegality.
Now, Barrister, why is it that it is the Labour Party that decided to go to INEC headquarters to protest? We also learned that the INEC also turned down the names being given by SDP as a party. So what is really happening?
That is, I wish this INEC will have reinvented themselves and start doing the right thing. I wish they will continue like this, count down to the election of 2027. Because it is this illegality that is the bane of our democracy and our elections. People just act with so much impunity and arrogance, neglecting the electoral law, electoral act, as if it does not matter. I remember in 2019, remember that APC suffered the same fate in Rivers State. When the court told them that they would not contest any election from the presidency to the House of Assembly in Rivers State, the court to shut it down because they never conducted any primaries. That was the end of it. They did it in Rivers State, even as the ruling party. The court dealt with them. So this is what we want. I just don't know why they stopped. That thing they did to Rivers State in 2019, they should have continued to sanction every infraction in our electoral act, so that this politician will now know that we have a law. You can't just violate it and then get away with it and say you have victory. No, it's wrong. It's wrong. The people that went to they are protesting for nothing, because as far as the law is concerned, they are illegal. Faction, illegal faction. So, under what locus are you protesting?
All right,
because the law does not recognize you, and you are protesting.
Okay, Barrister, thank you so much, Barrister.
People can be very funny. You know that you are an illegal faction. You are not recognized under the law, and you are protesting. So what is your protest? What gave you the impetus to even go and protest? You should even be in court. I mean, yeah, the court should have sanctioned you for what you have done. You violated the ruling of a high court, the Supreme Court of the land, and you are going to protest for what? So that INEC will now come back and recognize you or what?
All right, Barrister Darlington. Ayika, let's get your opinion on this. The protest that, some persons have staged at the INEC headquarters today.
I want to confirm because...
okay. What do you want to confirm, please?
Okay, I want to, because there's always this back and forth in who is the faction, who is not the faction. So I want to know.
There's a court judgment. There's a court judgment that made INEC to de-recognize the Julius Abure-led faction. And LP as a party now have an interim. They have an interim chairman who happens to be Nadi Usman as the chairperson of the party. So what do you have to say about this? Because some persons who also happen to be with this faction have gone up to say that is an infringement, is a slap on their face. That maybe the court and INEC is trying to disenfranchise them, and according to them, it's against their fundamental human right.
It is sad. I don't know the internal politics in the Labour Party.
Oh, okay.
But it is sad that we keep on having this crisis within political parties of function and non-function. Just last week, it was Julius Abure that was recognized. And I saw the press conference 2 weeks ago of Abure and the former vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the last election. And it was well received. Now, this week, we are hearing that that faction has also been stepped down for a new one. But nevertheless, I feel that everybody has a right to protest, both the faction and the non-faction. They should be given their right to protest or whatever is their demands, and INEC should look into it. Of course, I know that all these things are not, activities that are not encouraged by the ruling party. The ruling party is the one causing all the disruptions in all political parties, but they cannot do it alone. I'm a politician myself, and I know many of these party chairmen. For the ruling party to be able to infiltrate and cause problems in political parties, they need members of the political parties. There are people that will play one side, there are people that will play both sides. That shows the level of corruption among the so-called people that are the leaders of our political party. We have a leadership problem. We have a leadership problem. That is the problem, and that is what the ruling party APC is taking advantage of.
Okay.
Political parties that don't have leadership problem, in the sense that their leaders are responsible, are ready to stand and fight for their parties, they will be having this kind of crisis, you know. So
Thank you.
there is a corruption and a leadership problem in the Labour Party. If that leadership problem continues to exist, all this drama will continue to play out.
Thank you so much.
I advise people that want to change the country to look for stable political parties and move on with their political
Okay,
career.
now let's bring it home to Lagos. Maybe in 30 seconds, we learned about flash flooding bedeviling some part of Ikorodu already, and we were told today by the minister, the one in charge, Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab in Lagos, that Lagosians who find themselves in these low-lying areas in Lagos should relocate. I don't know if you have any idea of any environment mapped out, maybe temporary houses or homes mapped out for the people who are staying within this low-lying areas, for them to be able to relocate and for them to be safe during this season in Lagos.
I will say Tokunbo Wahab is not a serious person, and not only that, probably he has not seen what happens in same climes. You ask people to relocate to where? Your house or the government house? You don't ask people to relocate from their homes who have not provided another shelter for them. So this is to tell them quickly that they should provide shelter, temporary shelter for people. What are they using all the taxpayers' funds and the money in Lagos to do? You refuse to prevent the flooding, and I will not call it flash flood, because the rain that fell the last 2 days is not even heavy. It was just persistent. And just that little rain everywhere is already filled to the brim because of the failures of government. You have failed in your duty, and you are asking people to relocate. To relocate where? To relocate their cars, their family, or their possession. That they should take responsibility for their failure and provide temporary shelter for people.
All right.
Why they go and solve the problem permanently?
Thank you.
Just come and stay president and tell people to relocate. There's flash flood. These guys are not serious.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ayinka Oni, for your statement. Barrister Darlington, in 30 seconds, please.
Yes.
Get to that.
When people are telling me that somebody built Lagos, I was laughing. So you mean he built a flooded Lagos? Before you can even do something in Lagos that is below sea level, please, are you not supposed to do environmental impact assessment to know the kind of building you're supposed to put up in such area? Because the whole of that Lekki houses, I think it's Sanfield and all that.
We also have encouraging artists.
All those areas, yes, all those areas, yeah, before you start building, that's why you have town planners. FINA. That is why you have town plan in a Lagos as a whole that is below sea level. Whenever you want to build, get the environmental impact assessment. Even the new Lagos coastal, Lagos Calabar coastal is affected. FINA is affected. That means that project now that is gulping trillions of naira is a wasted project because of the hush manner they did that thing. I told you here that these people, there is something driving them, not God. There is one God they are serving that is driving them into insanity whenever they want to do something. Look at a whole Lekki that is supposed to be highbrow area. One small drop of rain, you will now leave a house you built with billions of naira and run away to one hotel or the other. Right, how about your properties inside that house?
I think they also look into
next year it will happen again. Next year it is now a constant decimal.
All right,
in our meanwhile there's no house, so there is shortage of house in Lagos. The one they built now, flood has taken it over.
I would have loved us to extend this further, but this is the media news, and this is how far we can go in doing the news analysis. Lagos. Thank you so much, Barrister Darlington Agumo, for your submission, and also Ayinka Oni. Thank you so much for being part of today's Midday News. I sincerely appreciate.
My pleasure.
You're watching the Midday News, and we've got a quick break. I will come back. The rest of the news bulletin continues. Stay with us. Glad to have you back. It's still the Media News and Voice of the People television. Edo State Governor Monday Obobolo has banned the activities of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, NURTW, the Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria, and drivers on wheel across the state. The governor also barred those union from collecting any form of dues, levies, taxes, or charges from motorists, drivers, traders, or members of the public. In addition, Governor Bebolo has banned Talapa Recovery Concept Limited, a private firm linked to the APC State Youth Chairman, Tony Kabaka, which had been engaged to enforce the payment of taxes and levies. A statement by the Secretary to the State Government, Musa Ikilo, said the action follows reports of resurgence in illegal revenue collection by certain unions and organizations operating under various guises. Still in the South, the governor of Ebonyi State, Francis Nwifuru, has lifted the suspension of 81 government officials. Monday, also, the governor's chief press secretary announced the governor's Nwifuru has directed the suspended commissioners, senior special assistants, and permanent secretaries to resume their official duties immediately. The officials were originally suspended on July 28, 2025, for failing to attend a government function. Those affected included the Attorney General, 25 commissioners, 22 permanent secretaries, 14 senior special assistants, and 24 special assistants. In the North Central, the Benue State House of Assembly has suspended 5 members for 3 sit-ins over tampering with a report on the activities of Otobo Local Government Chairman Maxwell Ogiri. The suspended members, Shimuwawa Tena, Matthew Damko, and Keifas Diako, Moses Egbedo, and Isaac Eshekilie are all part of the House Standing Committee on Local Government Security and Chieftaincy Affairs. The committee, led by Chairman Shimuwawa, was tasked with investigating alleged misappropriation of local government funds and abuse of office by Maxwell Ogiri. However, during the presentation of their report, the committee deviated from actual findings. Dissatisfied, the House formed a 5-member ad hoc committee headed by Ipusu to conduct a further investigation. As a result, the House suspended the entire committee for 3 sit-ins, citing their concealment of the truth regarding the misappropriation, abuse of office, and the closure of the legislative chamber by Otobo chairman to avoid accountability. In another development, the Edo State Council of the Nigeria Union of Journalists has condemned the growing repression of media in Nigeria, describing it as a serious threat to democracy. Chairman of the Edo NUJ chapter, Festus Alenke, made the remarks at the NUJ Press Center in Benin City during the unveiling of a modern entrance gate and a newly branded signboard bearing the union's logo. VOP TV correspondent Rhoda Johnny has more details.
The Union of Journalists in Edo State has unveiled a new signboard with its logo, along with a modern entrance gate at the NUJ Press Center in Benin City. Speaking at the event, Chairman Dr. Festus Alenke applauded journalists for staying objective in their reports. He also condemned the shutdown of Badagi FM in Niger State, calling it a serious threat to press freedom and democracy.
Promised that we are going to turn media around when we come on board in 2021, and I'm happy that you all see the changes. To me, NUJ is like a springboard for me, and I believe that when I do it well here, people have the confidence that wherever I go, I'll do it well. Because even where I'm coming from, the records are there. The former chairman of National Youth Council is here, and he can attest to that. I was there as chairman, and I got a lot of facilities for them. I was also at the Red Cross, so many. And today, even if I leave as chairman of the NUJ, you have something to say. But when Festus Alenka was there as chairman, this was what he did. And I'm happy about that.
Former NUJ chairman, Comrade Godwin Eraho, described Alenke as a visionary leader and encouraged other states to make those progress.
To hold the series of the great achievements of the current executive of our great union, led by Alenke, is not rather, it is acknowledging how blessed we are to have successors who are striving to improve on our legacy. Even in our individual families, such generational prosperity is what we pray for.
The new signboard was officially unveiled by the NUJ National Vice President, Zone F, Mrs. Bimbola Oyentunde, who said it represents a fresh identity for the council.
Congratulations to all Edo journalists. We thank God for today. This is a great project worthy of emulation. And the national president has asked me to congratulate everyone as well, to formally unveil this our logo. In the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, and in the name of the Holy Spirit.
The event brought together veteran journalists, former chairmen, and media stakeholders from across Edo State. In Benin, Rhoda Johnny, GOP TV News.
Thank you so much, Rhoda Johnny, for that coverage. Now to the business segment of the Midday News. The Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority has suspended 2 value jet pilots over a safety breach at the domestic terminal of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. NACA's Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, Michael Achimogun, said in a statement that the authority received report of a serious breach of aviation safety protocols involving a value jet flight on August 5. Achimogo said preliminary findings show that the pilot commenced departure procedures from the designated bay without adhering to the mandatory pre-departure clearance protocols. He added that the suspension would remain in effect until a full investigation into the incident is completed, reaffirming the NACA's commitment to safety for all stakeholders. In sports, former Nigerian international Ifeanyi Udeze has accused players of the Super Eagles B team of playing individual football in a bid to attract attention from foreign clubs. The Super Eagles B began their CHAN 2025 campaign with a 1-0 loss to defending champion Senegal in Group D. A defensive error allowed Christian Gomes to score the winning goal for the Teranga Lions with just 15 minutes left in the match. Reacting to the defeat, Udeze urged the players to focus on teamwork, emphasizing that they are playing in a tournament, not a showcase. In entertainment, Nigerian superstars Burna Boy and Asake are the joint most nominated African artists at the MTV 2025 Video Music Awards, earning 2 nominations each. Burna Boy received nods in the Video for Good category for Hire and Best Afrobeat for Tata, featuring Travis Scott. Asake was nominated twice in the Best Afrobeat category Active, also featuring Travis Scott and Get It Right with Tems. Rema, Molly, Tems, Wizkid, and Tyler earned 1 nominations each in the Best Afrobeat categories. And that is it on the Midday News and Voice of the People television. Before we go, a quick look at the headlines. Lagos government issues flawed alert to Lekki Ikorodu residents. LP faction distances itself from planned INEC protest. Kano commissioner resigns as pro-panel indicts him over bail of drug baron. Church of Nigeria cuts ties with Wales over gay archbishop. Peter Obi reaffirms one-time promise. We also told you that Zamfara lawmaker renovates 80 cemeteries as constituency project. In business, NACA suspends Biolojet pilots for breaching safety protocols. In sports, Uday's Islam Super Eagles B for self-play. And in the world of entertainment, Burna Boy Ashake bagged multiple nominations as Lady Gaga leads. And do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV, and on all the social media platforms, we are VOP TV Live. And this was the news that was aligned and edited by Azuka Onwuzo for Voice of the People Television. Up next on the radar is the Spotlight Show. I am Fina Okechukwu. Good afternoon.